Hello, everyone, and welcome to Why Wasn't It Better? I'm your host, Patrick Darms.
I'm your co-host, Anton Paras.
We have a very special episode today. We have a very special pair of guests. It's the Taylors. Welcome.
Woo!
Hey.
Our listeners will, of course, be familiar with Eric, who is our producer, but joining us today is his lovely wife, and that's why this is such a special episode. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We've been planning this one for a while.
Yes.
Yes. We planned on it.
Goodness gracious! I mean, it's not only just having both the Taylors on, but also it's a 4-person episode, which those are very, very special episodes, typically tied to a fun movie. So. What am I saying? I feel like every movie we cover is fun, right?
They're not all fun.
Okay.
No, they're not.
Let's get back to reality.
Anton, you thought the Hindenburg was fun?
Never mind.
No. Most of them are at least fun to talk about. I feel like we had to be pretty inventive for the Hindenburg.
Animated Lord of the Rings almost took me out early. That is a class. That is an old episode.
I watched him watch it. He was watching it on his phone like throughout the day, and yeah, it was painful to watch him watch it.
I just stopped.
Because he would stop and then he would be like, What is happening?
I mean, look, I'm still sorry for that. It's
every movie that I have disliked, I have had to purchase in some way on this podcast.
Even Star Trek?
I think I had to purchase like one of them.
Okay.
Because remember, I watched all. So I'll give you that one. Okay.
Right.
And I liked most of the movies that I watched out of that, except the one we covered on the podcast.
Well,
so,
I'm not sorry.
I was grateful. I know. Overall, it was a positive experience. That's why I don't really count it in the,
the negatives.
Well, I hope this was a positive experience because this was both of yours requests. A good old-fashioned Disney movie. And it's a Disney movie because it's on Disney Plus now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to see it there.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't think so. But, I mean, it is on Disney Plus.
Well, so many people confuse this with a Disney movie, and I was wondering watching this the other day, at what point does Disney just quietly just get rid of the Fox logo?
Right, this is ours.
Just let it drift away to history.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've already just done away with 20th Century Studios, right?
They got rid of the name. We
Fox
won't ever see it again now.
Well, no, sorry. They got rid of 20th Century Fox, so now it's
right
20th Century Studios.
Which is just weird. It's a weird logo. It's a weird name. 20th Century Studios. I don't know. We'll never get used to that.
I mean, dude, but like modern Disney can do no wrong.
In their eyes, yeah.
Well, we're early with the jokes today.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of jokes in this episode. By the way, what's the point of even having 20th Century Studios anymore, other than the name for old movies? Like, why make new movies under that name? There's no point. It's all coming from Disney, right? Like,
unless they have their own studios that, like, separate teams that work on just 20th Century Studio stuff, which I don't know what that would be.
Because they still put the Pixar logo in front of
True.
Pixar stuff, right?
Right, because Disney just distributes the Pixar movies. They don't make them.
No, absolutely not, dude. Like I said, they really can do no wrong.
On this episode of Why Wasn't It Better, we are taking a trip back to the late 1990s when every studio wanted their own answer to Disney and Fox bet big on a lavish animated fairy tale with a Russian twist. Anastasia is a fascinating case. Part historical tragedy, small part Broadway-style musical, part fairy tale with talking bat sidekick, directed by Don Bluth and Gary Goldman with the full weight of Fox's marketing machine behind it, even daring to open just weeks before Disney's Hercules. But how does Anastasia hold up today? Was it Fox's one shining moment going toe-to-toe with the House of Mouse, or does the mix of Romanov history and cartoon villainy sink the film under its own weight? A lot of answers we're going to seek today.
The way you described them putting the film out, I'm like, you're right, that actually makes no sense. It's like, oh, Cold War's over. Let's do this. With a Russian twist.
We'll talk about how this was adapted.
Yeah.
But beforehand, Eric, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, couple things. So I'm still doing Aliens in the Doghouse, which is now just at Aliens in the Doghouse, all one word. You can search it. I play video games over there. They're long form, really edited commentary. I try to make jokes. I think I'm funny. And then Catelyn and I are starting our own channel, Parentials, which we're doing like a book club for a podcast. We're doing old books that we read in school, like Perks of Being a Wallflower, The Giver.
Goosebumps.
We're like Goosebumps, going back and kind of looking through our past, doing that stuff. And then on our YouTube channel,
We're like reacting to
The Secret Lives of
That's the
Mormon
first one we
Wives,
did, yeah.
and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. But yeah, so it's sort of a variety thing.
Yeah.
But we're just starting that off.
an excuse to hang out after the kids go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of us hanging out and getting real mad at The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
That is so many projects. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So and then obviously I like helping you guys out. So but yeah, that's what we got going on. I appreciate you giving us the floor for a little bit for that.
Of course. Hopefully, by the time this episode airs, your channel will have begun.
We'll actually have posted something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like we're
close.
next month probably.
Oh yeah, then it should, because I have this scheduled to go out the week of Thanksgiving.
Perfect.
Cool.
And we'll get it
just as the holiday season begins, because I guess you could technically put this as a holiday movie, sort of.
Kind of.
It's snowy.
Yeah,
Vibe
it's
a little
snowy.
bit, yeah.
There's
Cheery
Christmassy
vibe, yeah.
stuff. I think the beginning of the film opens at a Christmas party, right?
I don't know if they'd specify what type, but it's definitely a party.
Oh, so if it's, I was gonna say, I mean, in Russian culture, right? New Year's feels more like Christmas, so it might have been a New Year's party.
New Year's party.
It felt more like a New Year's party.
Because it was Russia and
Quickly
snowing. It
disturbed.
could have been April. You know, you don't know.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it's snow in Russia. I don't know.
It might have been June.
I don't know. I also don't know enough about Russian history if they were really celebrating Christmas. I guess they would have been.
They would have been, yes.
Yeah.
However, if you want to know anything about Russian history, don't watch this film.
To watch this movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just ask the real Bartok. He'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Rasputin got resurrected and started World War II, you know.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
You are better off watching the drunk history about Rasputin than watching this film.
It's wild.
It's not much music, though.
There's not as much music. You're right.
Yeah,
But-
he was a character. Yeah.
I get why they were afraid of him. I wouldn't put it past
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I
Being in
Rah,
the
rah,
afterlife.
Rasputin.
To sell his soul and
Yeah.
I get why there was a revolution too. How dumb were the Tsar and his wife? Like, jeez.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it like a Marie Antoinette situation where like the royals had all the money, all the wealth, and everybody else was just starving poor, and then tensions just boiled over?
Yeah, that's part of it. It got worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is the Tsar's wife was never liked from the beginning because she was German. And she was Queen Victoria's granddaughter. And she married Nicholas. And because she was German, she was never liked by the Russian people to begin with. They always saw her as this outsider.
Gotcha.
And as the years went on, she couldn't produce a male heir with the first few kids, which caused even more people to dislike her. And when she finally did produce a male heir, he had hemophilia. So a lot of this stuff was blamed on her. And then the Rasputin thing was kind of the final nail in the coffin. She took this guy into their court as an advisor, and she started relying on him more and more, and it just alienated even more people. She was doing it all wrong. Not that being German was her fault, but
or not being able to produce a male
Right.
heir without hemophilia. It's not really
right.
something you can control.
No, but man, they just made bad decisions. We could do a whole podcast on the Russian Revolution.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
It's 2 episodes so far on it. So
What was the other one? Oh, Dr. Zhivago. Yeah.
Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah. Which I guess is a more sort of accurate. It's not really about the Russian Revolution, though. Neither is this film. But we'll get into it. Anything we can talk about or plug before I intro this for us?
I think so.
I
About the
don't know.
movie or about...
Anything, really. This is your time.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
All right,
We
Anton,
can talk about it.
admin, just become a patron if you like us.
Okay.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, recommend us.
I was about to do like you could cut this out. Be like, smash that like button.
Am I gonna have to use the explicit warning on Spotify for this one? Because
No, we
frequently
should-
when you're the
we
guest,
should-
I
what-
usually have
Say,
to.
Eric's here. You
What
must have.
what
Yeah.
you should do with that is just bleep it out and let people figure out.
People guess what we want them to hashtag.
What did Eric say?
Hashtag.
Hashtag, what did Eric say?
Fair enough. So, Anastasia. In the final days of the Russian Empire, the evil wizard Rasputin puts a hex on the royal Romanovs, and young Princess Anastasia disappears when their palace is overrun by revolution. Years later, the Grand Duchess offers a reward for Anastasia's return. Two scheming Russians, planning to pawn off a phony, hold auditions and choose an orphan girl with a remarkable resemblance to the missing princess. They bring her to Paris for the reward, not knowing she's the real Anastasia. The tagline is, discover the adventure, the romance, and the music. Anastasia was released on November 21st, 1997 by Fox Family Films, Fox Animation Studios, and 20th Century Fox. Directed by Don Bluth and Gary Goldman. Screenplay by Susan Gauthier, Bruce Graham, Bob Tzukdiker? Jesus. I'm going to have to edit the shit out of this. Bob Tzukdiker and Noni White. Story adaptation by Eric Tuchman based on Anastasia by Arthur Lawrence and Anastasia by Marcel Moret. Featuring the voices of Meg Ryan, John Cusack, Kelsey Grammer, Christopher Lloyd, Hank Azaria, Bernadette Peters, Kirsten Dunst, and Angela Lansbury. The budget was $53 million. That is $106 million adjusted for inflation. And the box office was $140 million. That is $280 million adjusted for inflation. We have an 83% Rotten Tomatoes score. Taylor's, this was your selection. Why did you want to talk about Anastasia?
You want to go first?
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite childhood movies. Like, just have fond memories of watching it. I mean, he can say, when we watched it, I sang every song. Like, it was just one of my favorites, like, comfort movies, and like, what do I watch? That's something I put on. I think like you said, the animation holds up still. It's pretty to watch. And yeah, just one of my favorites.
I wanted to do it, well, because it's your favorite, and we've been trying to figure out, a good movie where we could be on the podcast together. Mm-hmm. But I like Don Bluth. I'm upset he didn't have more of a career. And I find the things that were happening around this time period with animation and stuff, which I only know because of the podcast.
Yeah. I only know his name because of you.
Right. So I really enjoy his animation style, and I thought it would be good to look at a good movie that he did, because Titan A was
not
rough.
great.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like you must have seen Secret of Nim, right?
Mm.
All
I've
Dogs
never
Go to
seen that
Heaven.
No.
That one I know.
Oh, I know All Dogs Go to
Time.
Heaven.
Yep, of course.
An
Was it
American
Lamb Before
Tale.
Time?
Yep.
Yep.
mhm,
An American Tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a long
Most of
list
them-
for Don Bluth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never.
Yeah,
Anton,
most
what's
of
his
those.
biggest hit at the box office? Is it this or An American Tale?
Has to be An American Tale.
Okay.
That was huge for for a minute. I thought, like, what was the name of their studio? Anberlin? No, it's not that. That's a band.
Yes, that is a band.
Amblin.
But no, that was Amblin. No, that was huge for them.
A
Well, I'll
Steven
have
Spielberg
to-
collaboration.
Mm.
And it's, as much as, I actually have problems with Disney, it's interesting to see, especially when you talked about Ants, and like how all of these different studios and all of these different people were like fighting to get their piece
Compete
of
against
that
it, yeah.
that Disney renaissance.
Mhm.
I don't know, the backstories and the production histories around this time for these types of animations are like, it's very interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, love or Disney or hate him, in the 90s, every other studio trying to do animation was swimming in their wake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were killing it. But
It was cool though that people were trying to though.
Yeah, this is probably the best effort in terms of competition that I can think of.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah.
90s was great for competition between media companies in general, whether it was like WWE or WWF versus WCW creating the Monday Night Wars and like creating amazing pro wrestling, or what is it, the Disney Renaissance.
I don't know anything about wrestling, but I believe you.
I mean, we have some of the best non-Disney animation in this era as well. Anastasia, I would say included. Prince of Egypt, Iron Giant.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially as the decade went on. In the early 90s, I would say the competition was not great.
They were trying, not succeeding.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course in the 2000s, it gets a lot more diversified, and DreamWorks finally hits their stride with Shrek, and you get Fox with like the Ice Age series. They like the box office numbers really started to take off for Disney's competition. And honestly, we don't have to go into too much depth about that, but if it wasn't for Pixar in the 2000s, like Disney's output is not great. It's wildly uneven compared to the 90s.
Yeah, especially for animated.
Yeah. Live action, different story. But in terms of animation, Disney has had some up and down years. I guess technically we're in a down period for them now, even though they're making a lot of money, especially in terms of originality. I mean, they're making a lot of money with these sequels, but I don't know.
And the only good Star Wars thing I've heard of is Andor. I've heard really good things about that, but I haven't watched it.
It's a tragedy when they can't even continue the story a bit. You just have to keep going back.
Saying,
right?
Yeah, we have to bring Robert Downey Jr. back to Marvel because everything Marvel sucks now. Not to get too off the rails, but
even Andor,
I haven't watched it. I'm just saying
what
I heard. It was the only like Star Wars property where people were like, they weren't even singing praises. They're like, yeah, it's good.
I'm sure it's good, but even Andor to me, it's like it's a spin-off series that is based on a spin-off character in a spin-off movie that is based on a plot contrivance from the original Star Wars film. It's like,
well,
great work, guys. Great work.
I mean, look, I see it. I'm the other side of it. Like, holy crap, you made it work. Look at me being the optimist here.
I mean, seriously. I know you somehow maintain hope about Star Wars. It is. I've heard someone call it creatively bankrupt.
Of course,
but
I think it's we always want better. I think, and it's just really tough right now. It's really tough.
I don't just want better. I want something else.
You want
new, different.
Yeah, like I'm terrified for the new Harry Potter streaming series. The new Harry Potter series is coming to HBO. It's like those movies, they weren't perfect, but they got a lot of things right with those movies. And the margin for error with this new HBO series is not in their favor.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far off. It's like we can for sure talk about that.
Back to Anastasia.
Yeah.
So this is a favorite of yours.
Hands
Eric,
down.
did you see it back in the day?
I did, and I don't think it totally clicked to me like how much I had seen it until I heard the if I could learn to do it, you can learn to do it. And then I had like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast of me watching it when I was much younger. So
The fact that he didn't complain about the music, I feel, says a lot too. Because any of the movies we watch now, where there's like the kids are like anything singing, he hates it because it's always just like they're singing about what they're doing.
And now we're doing this thing, and this is exactly how I feel. And it's like, be creative.
So these songs actually like stand on their own. You could listen to them without having to be watching the movie.
Yeah, Eric has high standards for film soundtracks. We've discovered that doing
Eric
several
has
recordings
high standards for music in general. You should try to drive it. Listen to podcasts, not music, because we can never agree on anything. I put on anything and it's immediately poo-pooed.
Well, it's good to have a strong opinion. Okay, all right. Again, I'm ever the optimist.
Anton, I was curious how the soundtrack discussion with Eric would go for this.
Already good start. Very good
He's being
start.
nice because I'm here.
Yeah.
I will say he was not sitting there cringing as it was playing, and normally he has comments about the music. So
I mean, I can start.
Not saying he will listen to it on his own.
The soundtrack's a banger. It's so good.
It is
fantastic songs.
And the fact that it has been a while since I've watched it, and I still knew all the words. Like they just are classics.
You could cut out the one in France. That was my least favorite.
The Paris one?
I
When they're
still
getting
really,
dread, like
I still
the-
really
I'm
love
not-
that one. Especially the
Yeah.
animation tied to it.
Oh,
It's so
the
fun.
impressionistic
Yes.
animation. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
So fun.
I have an opinion. Everybody
Alright,
jumps
well,
on.
alright.
You
Yeah,
did
and
say
this
though
is-
you
and
liked
this
the
is mine.
background of that one.
Write
though.
that down.
You're gonna-
I like where
Yes.
they did the
Yeah.
what's the artist that did the dots? I was
Van
trying to reach and was it Van Gogh?
I think this was
Or
supposed
it
to
was
look
like
like
Monet or something.
art from that
Like,
era.
Monet.
He
Could have been Van Gogh or Monet. I think they were going for that whole style in that scene.
I had like an art history elective, and I remember learning like he used dots to very famously make these paintings. Yeah, I love the animation. I just it wasn't my favorite
Yeah,
song.
Okay,
I'm not
alright,
saying
alright,
It was a
alright.
bad
flush
song.
it down the
Yes.
toilet. I'm like, if you cut it out,
All
I don't
right.
think it loses much.
So Anton,
That's my
I saw
opinion.
this as a
Please.
kid. I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I was looking at the box office, and this is like a decent hit. But I think where this movie made its mark with a lot of Don Bluth stuff is I knew so many people that owned this on video, including my family. That's probably how I think a lot of people our age, we're all millennials here, saw it. If you missed it in theaters, this must have sold, I don't have the numbers, but it must have sold a ton on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We have the DVD too. Like the one time, when they had the $5 bucket at Walmart when we first moved in together,
Yeah.
it was there. I'm like, we need
Question for you. Is that ever updated when it's talked about how much a film has made or lost? We talk about how much a film has netted, stuff like that.
or is it always just box
What,
office?
like how
I would
you
have
talk
to
about box
assume-
office, but
Yeah, I would have to assume it has to be significant enough to move the needle. Like if it's not
Mhm.
over a certain percentage, it's still negligible if they're rounding up or down.
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We only mention the box office numbers, Eric, when we cover these
Yeah.
films, unless I can pull numbers for how much it sold on video. It's weird though, like
That's
some
like-
of the films you can find the numbers online, some of them you can't. It's kind of hit or miss with like actually finding out. And of course, newer movies, no chance of selling a ton.
No. No.
Like Anton, if a film now sells like a million copies of a Blu-ray, that's probably a lot, right?
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like in the 90s, a
Which is-
million copies was like, fine. But
Yeah.
then you get
And-
to something like The Lion King. The Lion King made $900 million when it came out in 1994. In 1994 money. And then it made like another $500 million on video.
Video.
Yeah.
So it's just
That's
nuts.
crazy. When you put that into perspective.
Yeah.
And streaming is so obscured, you can't like tell how much a movie. I'm just wondering if there's been a situation where like movies come out flop and then like has totally recouped everything after like it's
Yeah.
Everything? That's everything though? That's tough.
Everything, but
But
there are
like,
certain, like
yeah.
Waterworld achieved profitability
Mhm.
because of the TV rights that got sold, and it eventually did enough on the rental market. But yeah, Anton, to your point, everything, it depends on how much of a loss
Yeah.
we're talking about.
like there's no saving Pluto Nash. There's no yeah.
right.
But if
I'm just curious.
Was there saving Titan AE? It's like, I don't know.
Oh God, no.
After listening to that episode, you guys, I was like, I kind of want to watch it just to see what in the world you guys are
I
talking
mean, it's an
about.
interesting
Yes,
movie.
please.
It's just
highly
it's a-
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking it out just for the experience.
It's-
Yeah.
just for that soundtrack. Oh,
Some parts are cool.
Let's go.
there are cool parts in that movie for sure.
Yeah. I think that's where I got my, interest in, sci-fi and space aliens coming to blast the planet. Just regular childhood interests.
This
I
is
mean,
where I got
what
my
a-
interest in the Russian Revolution.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's quite a lot in this film.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, let's
No.
dig in then. Yeah, Don Bluth, always fun to talk about. Anton, we should do more of his. This is only the second one of his we've done.
And we just rattled off a few of his very famous films.
Good ones.
It's great to get people informed on non-Disney animated from this era. I think there's just
Mhm.
a lot of
Mhm.
really fun films.
And that's just, I think, one
Definitely.
more time we're going to have to remind our listeners this is not a Disney movie. Even though you can
It is
watch
not.
it right now. on
You
Disney
can watch
Plus.
on Disney Plus. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know the really big tell that this wasn't a Disney movie at the time? The fast food toy was sold by Burger King, not McDonald's.
Not McDonald's.
Good call.
because Disney was always through McDonald's back.
Disney
then.
would never stoop to that level.
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
Burger King.
Yeah, no. Disney would never associate themselves with Burger King.
I highly
Peasants.
recommend checking out the ad for the toys. It rocks.
I'm sure.
What were the toys?
You got the Bartok toy. You squeeze it, makes a noise. I don't know what noise, but it makes a noise.
You didn't find one on eBay?
We probably have them, honestly. My mother probably has them in her
They
basement
must be
somewhere.
on eBay.
Anyway.
Production
Just-
history for this. Like we were teasing in the intro, this was completely made by Fox to copy the Disney Renaissance model. You go back to 1994, Don Bluth and Gary Goldman, they signed a deal with Fox to produce animated films for the studio. The collaboration included the $100 million construction of a new animation studio in Phoenix, Arizona. For more information on that, check out our Titan AE episode. When that film did so badly, it closed that studio. The studio employed more than 300 animators. And by the way, that it wasn't the entire fault of that film while that studio closed, but it
was
didn't
just
help.
The final straw.
It didn't know.
Didn't help. For their first project, the studio requested one of a dozen properties which they owned. Bluth and Goldman suggested The King and I or My Fair Lady. The idea to adapt the 1956 film Anastasia came from Fox CEO Bill Mechanic. This is technically an adaptation of two different mediums. Marcel Moret wrote a play called Anastasia in 1950 based on the idea that the princess had survived. Part of this story was made into the 1956 film by 20th Century Fox. Anton, I don't know if we're going to cover that one. It might be on our list. Is this the one with Ingrid Bergman? I believe that's what it is.
Yes, it was. A lot of ties to this one, actually.
Eric Tuchman adapted the film screenplay into the initial draft for this one. Bluth and Goldman began researching the actual events through enlisting former CIA agents stationed in Moscow and St. Petersburg. At one point, they felt the historical events involved were too dark for the film. Yeah, no shit.
Maybe, children being murdered. a little dark for a G-rated movie.
I like how this movie completely avoids that. Like, oh, Grandma, what about the rest of my family?
Yeah. You're from the beginning. She never cares about them. She's always Grandma. She's
no mention of them again.
She only remembers Grandma, and Grandma just never brings it up because she has amnesia. She thinks,
We'll talk about that a little bit later. I think more in depth.
In 1995, Bruce Graham and Susan Gauthier reworked Tuchman's script into a lighthearted romantic comedy. The husband and wife screenwriting team, Bob Sediker and Noni White, were hired for additional rewrites. Actress Carrie Fisher also made uncredited rewrites of the film, particularly the scene in which Anya leaving the orphanage for Paris. For the villains, Bluth also did not take into consideration depicting Vladimir Lenin and the Bolsheviks. Goldman explained that Rasputin was chosen as the villain because of, quote, all the different things they did to try to destroy Rasputin and what a horrible man he really was. The more it seemed appetizing to make him the villain, end quote. In addition to this, Bluth created the idea for Bartok, the albino bat, as a sidekick for Rasputin. Bluth stated that Meg Ryan was his first and only choice for the title character, but Ryan was unsure about accepting the role due to its dark historical events. To persuade her, the animation team took an audio clip of Annie Reed from Sleepless in Seattle and created an animation reel based on it, which was screened for her following an invitation in the studio. Ryan later accepted the role. In her words, quote, I was blown away they did that. So she was like, I'll have what they're doing. Peter O'Toole was considered for the role of Rasputin, but Christopher Lloyd was hired because of his popularity from the Back to the Future trilogy. Bartok was initially written for Woody Allen, but the studio was reluctant to hire him following the allegations made against him a few years before. A little funny how they doesn't stop DreamWorks from casting Allen as the lead voice role in Ants. Yeah. Really questionable. The score was composed and conducted by David Newman, whose father, Alfred Newman, composed the whole score of the 1956 film. The songs were written by Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty. One of these, quote, Journey to the Past, was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Original Songs. The film's release was accompanied by a marketing campaign of more than $50 million with promotional sponsors from Burger King, Dole Food Company, Hershey, Cheeseboro Ponds, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, Shell Oil, and the 1997 U.S. Figure Skating Championships. And there's a Broadway musical that is more historically accurate and actually released very recently. So
I've seen it.
You saw it.
It was very good. Yeah.
Did they use all the songs from this film? I'm guessing they did.
I don't remember. This has been like a few years ago, but I feel like there were similar songs. I don't think they used all of them. And I think it was a little bit more mature, if you will. Like it wasn't so like a G-rated movie, you know, but it was good. I remember liking it.
Eric, did you see that with her?
No.
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even know if we were together then.
it was on Broadway
that-
for sure. So
That's
Yeah.
more than a few years
I
ago.
know.
You might have gone like with
I
your
probably did. I
mom.
went with my cousins and my mom and my
Cousins,
grandma
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe.
Pre-kids,
Who
definitely.
knows? I didn't
Pre-COVID. That's more
go.
what it is. Pre-COVID.
Fair.
I want to add one more note on the production history. I know we have a lot of these big names: Meg Ryan, John Cusack, singing voices.
Mm-hmm.
Liz Calloway.
We
I
looked
want to give
Uh-huh.
I want to give a huge amount of credit.
Mm-hmm.
She originally was supposed to only do one take for backup vocals, but they loved her so much they kept her on to do the singing voice, which is pretty great.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then, of course, everyone's favorite Winnie the Pooh, Jim Cummings, did
Yeah.
the singing voice for Rasputin.
It was so funny. I didn't realize that, and when we were watching it, and he was singing, I was like, "I know. Why do I know that voice?" And we looked it up. Like, oh my gosh!
Lacey Chabert is in it. Has a
Yeah, I don't.
Yes.
small role in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gretchen Wieners.
So
right.
funny.
Kirsten Dunst does young Anastasia.
That's right.
I,
That's
I
right.
wrote that down later. Is that the most talent involved for voicing one character like that you've ever heard of?
Right.
Right.
It's a great
Yeah.
lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't it better?
Quite a, yeah. Ooh, let's
If-
go in. So it's the
if-
90s.
yeah,
Do we need to
if
go
we
into the
can.
90s mindset?
I think we do.
Okay.
Because I want to start with the historical accuracy. I don't know this so much now because I think the urban legend about Anastasia is probably debunked. I do remember at the time, like kids in school talking about this movie when it came out. Like, oh, like she really did survive. It was
I
just
remember
part
that,
of popular culture at the time. And of course,
Yeah.
that was established long before this film came out. But it always gets brought up when people discuss this movie.
Yeah, I definitely remember that. I remember being upset when I found out that they did find her body.
It's interesting to just note, it seems like people are always going to pin that on any film that depicts a historical event. And we've set a pretty strong precedent. It doesn't necessarily have to go beat by beat for what actually happened, especially because the reality of it, there also wasn't a talking albino bat.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Rasputin
Well,
wasn't a
let's-
undead zombie creature.
That's sold his soul.
Soul
Right.
to soul, yeah.
Well, we
Um,
don't know that.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
We don't know that he didn't sell his soul. And I didn't even realize this, but the original rumor was fueled by an actual like Anastasia impersonator in the 1920s. But I guess that makes
Oh.
sense that someone would have been trying to take advantage of the Grand Duchess's
Yeah.
charity because she really did try to find there was a rumor that at least one member of the family had survived, and she psychologically I can understand that she was devastated by what happened to her family. Who wouldn't be? And she convinced herself that her son
That's true.
the Tsar wasn't really dead and he was just in hiding because no one ever saw the bodies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
quite horrible what actually happened to them. If anyone isn't familiar with the story, they were not given a proper burial after they were executed. They were kind of just thrown into a mass anonymous grave. It really is a tragedy what happened.
Yeah, it's a huge bummer.
Mhm.
There is zero historical evidence to support anything that you see in this movie. If you haven't figured that out for yourself,
Told Eric, like it's a historical fiction. It's very much
Yeah,
mostly
I
fiction.
said mostly fiction.
All
Like,
right.
we took
Well,
this historical event and made our own story.
does it take away from the enjoyment factor?
The historical event or the fact that it's not accurate.
We
The
really
fact that it's
enjoyed
not
that they were all executed.
No. No,
That was
I'm perfectly
great,
fine that we
wonderful
went a
enjoyment.
different route.
Yeah.
depends on whether or not you're a Bolshevik, Anton.
Okay. That's fair.
No, I would say no. I think it doesn't take away my enjoyment of this film. I wish the film had made some vague reference to the Russian Revolution. They don't even mention the word revolution in this film.
No, it's just
It's like Rasputin possessed everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely
Right? Like,
he's
that's
the
kind of-
catalyst. Mm-hmm.
Or at least it's sort of what I thought.
Yeah, because when he comes into the party, he says like by the fortnight they will be gone. So
Right.
yeah, it definitely seems like he's the one that
He's
caused the riot.
he's pulling Maleficent Sleeping Beauty vibes.
Yeah.
Rushing into
Yes,
that party,
yes.
like,
Shows
where's my
up,
invite?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna watch a film like this for historical accuracy, but I really do think it actually would have like made the plot a little bit more interesting if they had just included any shred of like more dimension to Rasputin's character. Like, it doesn't really go into any detail why he doesn't like the royal family,
Yeah.
why he has
That's true.
why is there a history that he has with the Tsar and his
Why is
family?
he
The
mad
film
at them?
doesn't elaborate on that in any way.
Is there still more of a stigma, or at least like do we think maybe in the late 90s, just the larger studios like, well, we don't really want to mention communism?
I'm sure that was
Probably.
part of it.
Well, because I was asking Catelyn, this came out
97.
97. So the Soviet Union was 6 years gone at this point, so still fresh. The Cold War was still fresh. I just thought it was interesting because I thought at this point, like, well, for a while, Russians were like the bad guys, right? They got like Die Hard, a lot of the Bond movies, stuff like that. Just because of, I guess, Cold War sensibilities, which is why it's even more interesting where they were like,
to make it positive.
You're right. It's probably why they avoided it, frankly.
I get it, but the film,
they should have had a little bit more background. Yeah,
I just wish there was a little bit more there in terms of, you know, when the film opens, the Angela Lansbury is narrating about how like Russia used to be such a wonderful place when my son was the emperor, and it's like 1916. There's also no mention of World War I, which of course Russia was deeply involved in and getting its ass kicked.
Yeah,
she could have explained a little bit more in that intro.
Yeah, all she could have
going back.
It could have been a simple line of like, times were troubled. That's it.
Could you maybe argue that it's from the perspective of Anastasia? Because if you were a kid, you wouldn't know all this. Just bad people stormed the palace one day.
That's her memory of it.
That's her memory of it.
Beginning though, it's the grandma telling her memory of it though.
Right, telling her.
Oh, she's telling Anastasia.
She doesn't want to be like, I don't know. It's just a thought.
Maybe.
That's kind of
fair.
You explaining it like that. It's from her perspective. She wouldn't know anything about all this. Is her parents going to sit her down and be like, well, so there's this guy, Lenin. It's like,
her parents? No.
They're going to, they're going to try and shield her from it. And they can because they're royalty.
Yeah.
So it must have been very weird when people just randomly show for her.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I could see it if it was kind of a continued theme throughout the film, like a lack of context clues, but there's a lot of songs with context of we're in the Soviet Union now, and we're like in St. Petersburg, everything sucks. Like the first song, I don't think it's
the song's good, but
the biggest problem they run into is that the letters on the travel permits, they're blue this month. Like, not red.
Yeah. Everything is red.
Should the film be criticized for romanticizing the Tsarist regime of Imperial Russia, do you think?
Again, it's not about them necessarily.
Right.
It's about Anastasia.
Her finding her family again.
Again.
Was a child.
Yeah, not her fault. I mean, you could criticize it. But my mentality is, I mean, anyone who remembers it is probably dead by now. So, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. This type of movie, you just if you're gonna hold the historical accuracy against it, I don't know what to tell you. You should never watch this kind of movie for historical accuracy.
Right.
Whether it's Pocahontas, Anton, same kind of deal.
Because honestly, if it were historically accurate, it would be kind of boring.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be rated G.
It would be a different movie. Right. It would be a different type of movie.
Also that, it would be a different tone.
That wasn't what they were going for.
Everything. Yeah.
I think it's context too. This was delivered at a time where people didn't think about how close to historical accuracy we should be. I know there's a lot more focus on we just want to tell a story, or let's write a good movie, let's put great music to it, and I want the backdrop to be, early 1900s Russia. Wouldn't that be pretty?
Right.
Versus
Which
now,
no
there's
one else was really doing.
yeah, and now there's a lot more like we don't want to romanticize this, or we want to make sure to make this accurate, and I think that that's the context of today. So I can't fault this film for what every other film was doing at the same time.
During that time, yeah.
And especially, I don't think they'd make this kind of movie now. They wouldn't make an animated movie about this subject now. I doubt it.
No.
Let's talk about the production.
Yeah.
My nieces found this pretty intense. I was kind of stunned this wasn't rated PG, because there's some pretty intense stuff in this film.
I know. That's the one thing I was worried about showing it to our daughter, because like the ending too, like when he tries to get her at the ball and the train scene, like all that kind of like big, scary, like I don't know.
The visuals are very like in the dark of the night. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. She probably would have been okay with that song because of all the bugs. Like it's kind of that song. Like
the bugs are cute.
We know it's dark, but that's cute. But when they're trying to kill her, like the train, and at the end with when the horse statue comes to life, then she might have been a little freaked out by that. But
yeah, like the nightmare scene where he possesses her dream is it's like good.
It's
horror.
All cutesy till the end.
It's good horror movie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of instances about throwing around kill. I don't think they throw around kill as much in animated kids movies today.
Right. Yeah, because that's his whole game, is the fact that he's pissed that she's still alive, that he didn't get them all.
Yeah.
That's
a good point.
If he cursed the entire family, why aren't the grandmother and her cursed?
He didn't curse. He
cursed the royal line.
I think it was
I think it's where
family.
He just wanted to kill. Yeah, he wanted them all dead. So that was kind of like his deal, because she's still Anastasia's still alive. That's why he's in limbo. Like he hadn't fulfilled like what he set out to do. So it wasn't really a curse on them. It was the ability to kill them.
I had a question about
my
that.
Interpretation.
And there's probably no answer to this. So his like magic vial thing that like fuels his curse, it only gets activated when Anastasia stumbles into the palace. It didn't know she was still alive in the orphanage.
Yeah, I don't.
What's in there? What's in that vial?
Spirits.
It's not entirely clear.
Wait, let me look this up.
Unless
I got the official. It's the 90s, so it's high C ecto cooler.
That's what was keeping him from decomposing.
Keeping
it helped him fight off
semi-alive.
Oh man!
When she comes back into the palace, though, and she starts seeing things, that's when she starts remembering. So maybe that's what activates it, because she's starting to remember who she is.
That makes more sense than anything else.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Because the only thing I said to you, like the only thing I have an issue with the movie is the whole her amnesia thing. The fact that like she falls down, like trying to get off the train, hits her head. Okay, fine, but like no one knew around there who she was. Like when she woke up, like how did she get to the orphanage? Like that's the only thing that doesn't track with me, of how she doesn't remember anything and is still okay. Like how does she get from falling on the train to the orphanage? But I don't think we're supposed to think that hard about it.
Definitely not. And how old do you think she is in the flashback in the beginning? She's like 10,
She's
11?
like 8.
She's like 8?
Okay.
She has to be like
because they think
or something.
Because
they think it's 10 years later, and I think she must be 18 because they're kicking her out of the orphanage.
Okay,
so she's got to be around 8.
Okay, so
at the beginning.
Do you know how old the real Anastasia was at the time of the revolution? Not that it has anything to do with this, but at this point, so she was like 16.
She was older.
Okay.
So yeah, they couldn't have made her 16 because that wouldn't have explained the amnesia part of it. Right. I too was confused by the amnesia. Like, wait, how does someone just not remember the first like 8 years of their life? I guess if you suffer enough trauma, you can mentally block stuff out. But
she's now orphaned and was running for.
But to your point,
scary stuff happened.
There's no one who knows how she ended up at the orphanage.
Right.
I thought
he had an okay.
Which again, this is me drawing conclusions. I was like, well, it could have been. There was somebody loyal to the throne who saw her and like took her into hiding and got her to the orphanage.
So that she wasn't killed by
But
the revolution.
Eventually, they were killed by the revolution. So anybody who knew she was still there
Didn't actually
is
know.
dead. And because it's out in a rural area, I was saying to Caitlin, I think back then, it's like, if you're out in the middle of like rural Russia, I don't think you care what's going on in the city. It doesn't really matter what's going on. You're just trying to survive.
So they probably don't know.
So the whole Russian Revolution and knowing Anastasia's face, because you're right, it's everywhere. They have her on papers and stuff. It's probably not getting out. So I think it's plausible, but you do have to fill in your own gaps.
For that be it, like how we got to this point. Yeah. That she doesn't know who she is.
She has to find herself.
She does.
Yeah, and you know what, man? She does.
She does.
She does.
Spoiler alert.
Via interpretive song and dance.
Yeah.
Fun details though, like when she's in the ballroom and all the ghosts are dancing around her.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
it's
incredible.
My favorite scenes.
If you look real
that song.
closely, she's the only one with a reflection on the floor.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I sing that song to the girls when I put them to bed. I just love that song so much.
No, very well done.
That's one of the highlights of the film. That song, "Once Upon a December."
Yep.
And how it's used throughout as it's like the lullaby that connects her to her grandmother.
Yep.
Really
Stuck
good
in my
storytelling. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had forgotten how memorable all the songs are.
They're just so good.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dark of the Night.
Like
too,
I said before, they are discussing the things that they're doing, but they're not doing it in a clunky way. Like me, someone like me, I should hate the St. Petersburg song. I thought it was a banger. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a musical for you, though. I mean, that's.
I know.
It really is a musical.
You say that, but there are musicals where you can listen to the songs outside of the context of the musical, and the song still makes sense.
Yeah,
For example,
I
he
agree
hates
with
Encanto. Like those songs, he hates all those songs.
They've grown on me.
Yes, because Finley watched them more.
Encanto in general has grown on me.
Really?
But it's like, let me explain exposition while singing. It's like, please don't. Just sing a song. I know. I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it.
No, it's fine.
I'll be here forever.
We can all agree that this was very well thought out and well invested in the music production.
100%.
Yeah, you can see where they spent the music here. And the best thing about this, for me, this still remains the Don Bluth identity. Like it is very much more of a big budget studio film than some of his earlier work. But his influence, along with Gary Goldman, his directing partner on this, it still remains. It still has all of the Don Bluth tropes, like the flawed heroes, and frankly, the nightmare fuel stuff. Don Bluth always puts some, pretty creepy stuff into his films.
Yeah,
and this film has that.
What's the creepiest thing in this film? Anything that strikes out?
I think the dream that you're talking about, like at the end when he's not about, like when Dimitri's trying to get her off and then it turns into a nightmare. That's
pretty freaky.
That's probably the scariest.
Oh, when he's trying to get her to jump into the water.
That's really freaky.
When her father turns into a devil.
It's probably that.
That's a lot for a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Because some of the creepier things were kind of comedic, like when Rasputin goes into his own body and is just sitting. I remember that as a kid. I'm thinking that's gross, but
that's supposed to be funny.
Right.
That's not supposed to be scary.
There's a charm in the creepiness of Rasputin.
Yeah.
But the horse was pretty scary.
The horse, and then also on the train, the part where it blows up the bridge, like where they all combine and make that big, like those are probably my three.
Yeah, and that I'd say that's the beauty of non-Disney animation.
That they can do that. Yeah.
Like, I mean, of course, Don Bluth many years worked at Disney, but it makes sense that he wants to have his own spin and influence. It's I even think of films like All Dogs Go to Heaven, and that has some pretty horrifying scenes of hell for a fun animated movie.
Right.
Or Secret of Nim, also very terrifying.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's so cool about watching Bluth stuff is I don't know how to quite articulate it. You can tell that he was trained at Disney. You can see the Disney influence on his work, but it's like this cousin of it. It's clear that like he spun off and developed his own style. That's what's so interesting about it to me.
No, I think that's I mean, I think that's a great way to put it, Pat. I think that, and it's one of the reasons why, I joked about it earlier. There's it's almost like a nuclear arms race of animation, but it is just also a really fun time for animation. Films like this, Cats Don't Dance, Prince of Egypt, you get a lot of really fun animation. Some of it dives into the more serious themes. Some of it dives into the scarier themes that the larger studios won't do.
He was always trying something different, a little bit more edgy than what Disney was doing. Sort of. Although I'm gonna have to check myself on that. Like Disney did do the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I was say this gives a little bit of Hunchback vibes.
But they definitely were pushing the boundaries with that one, though.
True.
Yeah, like you guys said in that episode, they wouldn't make that movie now.
I don't think so.
At least not the way they did. It'd be a much different story.
Is it a edgy pick to want Meg Ryan as the voice of Anastasia?
I think it was a safe pick in terms of her box office viability, because this would have been probably the height of her career, but she wasn't a voice actress. That's for sure. So I think perhaps from that perspective, Anton, it was an atypical selection from them.
Well-known person, but not for voice acting.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Anton, didn't really do any voice acting much after this?
No, I can't see. I didn't see anything that Meg Ryan had worked on. I don't know if they ever did an animated Sleepless in Seattle, but no. But I think she did a good job in this movie.
Yeah, she's got a more distinctive voice than I recalled.
And there's we mentioned before there are more voice actors in the more traditional voice actors in the film, but I mean, I totally agree, having someone like Meg Ryan that was peak at the time, huge for the marketing for the film.
One thing I will say is that we talked about this.
What?
Anastasia and Dimitri
both have English accents. Yeah, they're not Russian. Not Russian.
No Russian accents, but people around them have accents.
I was going to say, the supporting players do, yes.
Vlad does, and the grandmother. And
that is one step too far.
The same thing happened in a Russian-oriented movie, Eric, that we just reviewed last week. Anton, I'm talking about Dr. Zhivago. The two leads in that film are more or less speaking with English accents, and the supporting characters are using varying levels of Russian accent.
I get why you would do something like that, because in America, I doubt that would perform well.
But why not just make them all have American accents across the board? Why have Vlad have the German, not the German, the Russian?
Right, and you said earlier, it's like they're saved by a Russian kid.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, he is Russian. He sounds like an American. Yeah, he's an American that was visiting there and got stuck.
Yeah.
And now he's.
And you could maybe make the argument a little bit more for Dimitri, because he's kind of like, we don't really know his backstory. He could have been worse. She should have a Russian accent, unless the amnesia did something like that.
Meg Ryan,
she
I don't
grew up
know.
in the orphanage.
Is it problematic, the fake Russian accent?
I'd rather them do what they did versus try to come up with a fake one.
I don't think so, Anton, because a lot of voice actors just do different accents as their job. Like Kelsey Grammer is a pretty experienced voice actor, as is Hank Azaria, and especially Hank Azaria, he's known for doing all different kinds of accents.
British and like UK, Irish actors do American accents
right.
all the time.
Right. I was gonna say back then, especially, I don't think they're thinking about problematic things like doing a Russian accent. That's not on the radar. Mm-hmm. So maybe just it's not in Meg Ryan's wheelhouse to do it.
Repertoire.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they didn't. It was like a brief moment where I was like,
I would have never even thought about it. Yeah, you're the one that brought it up. I'm like, well.
What accent is Bernadette Peters doing?
It's an English one.
Is it English?
Was she the grandma?
She was the
the cousin.
The cousin who Vlad used to bang, which is a huge plot point of the film, which I found amusing. He's like, I used to bang the Grand Duchess's cousin. We can totally exploit that.
I feel like she's supposed to be like French.
But she's got to be part Russian, right?
I don't know.
It's a mix. It's a little ambiguous.
Well, I always wonder with the grandmother too, because like, why is she always in Paris? Because that's like a thing with Anastasia that she.
That's where the historical context would have mattered. A lot of Russians used to
they fled.
Right, they fled to Paris. There was a Russian presence in Paris.
Okay, because she with like that was the locket was like together in Paris. Like that was kind of like when she would go on her trips. That's where she would go.
And when you move to a place, even when I lived in New England, I started saying wicked. Like you pick up some of the dialect when you live there. I don't anymore because I don't live there, right? So
everyone around you saying
and also there's that really interesting video of this Russian woman whose husband is Jamaican, so she learned English with a Jamaican accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, wow. Yeah, that makes sense. And of course, this film doesn't honor history at all, but in reality, the Grand Duchess was actually Danish. She wasn't even Russian.
Okay.
So,
because she had married the Tsar's father, who was, of course, Russian, but she was of Danish royalty.
Right. Okay, that's what I was curious too. Like maybe her family, why her cousin would maybe be French. Like
no,
she was from
French.
Somewhere else. Yeah,
no, not French.
So,
for the context of the movie, we'll say she was.
Right. Yeah, they're really banking on people not looking very far into this.
No.
The more you look into it, I mean, there's nothing to look into because you just keep hitting brick walls when it comes to the history, the historical stuff. I do want to talk about the animation. I think for the most part, it holds up really, really well. This is a really beautifully animated film. Classic Don Bluth.
Agree. But you're right with this. There's a few CGI parts. Like whenever they're holding the music box, it's like, are you guys holding the music box?
Yeah.
There are some brief moments where what's Dimitri's sidekick's name? Vlad. If you pay attention to Vlad for a little while, you will see some funny faces. I remember specifically when he's going up the elevator in the Eiffel Tower, his face is just like it looks melted.
They joked about this on Family Guy. It's like they do the thing where the eye goes over the nose a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see that.
Yeah.
Like I think it's overall, a transition.
Well, Eric,
listen, I'm not.
This actually reminds me of your favorite animated film, Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, where some of the background characters in here are rotoscoped, where the principal characters are mostly traditionally animated, and you can tell the transition is a bit awkward in some shots.
If you pay attention in the background, I think in the last scene, the background, it's just a still. The people in the background just aren't moving.
Yeah.
When they're on the boat at the end?
No, when they're in the palace or the theater.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
When she's arguing with him, like, if you pay attention, everyone is static. There isn't even, like, slight movement. So, which, fine, do what you gotta do.
I feel like they did it on purpose sometimes, too. Like, the whole Paris song, like, the background was kind of meant, it is kind of static on purpose, it felt like.
I don't mind a lot of that stuff. Maybe it's my age, maybe it's nostalgia, but I do miss the imperfection of old school 2D animation, Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the Pixar stuff. I love a lot of modern 3D animated stuff, but everything is just so perfect a lot of the time. Like, what were we watching kind of recently with my nieces? The original 101 Dalmatians.
We just watched that recently too.
You know how everything looks like a sketch in that film?
Yes.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Me too.
I really do miss that kind of stuff.
Yeah. 100% agree. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was.
I think it's a beautiful.
It wasn't distracting. Let's just say, like, if anything was weird, it was not like, oh my god. Because sometimes even like if we've been watching the first Toy Story recently, and even like some of that old school, like when they were just starting to do that 3D animation, that's honestly more off-putting.
It's primitive. It just they didn't have the computing power to what they have now.
Yep. Yeah, it's. I'll take any imperfections with the traditional animation because you get such high highs with it. Like you're like, wow, this really sticks with me. Versus nowadays, I feel like you get a bit of there's definitely, I'd say, a bit of that missing, that charm missing.
So. Yeah, and you get a lot of creativity stuff too, like really creative shots, like that Paris sequence where it's supposed to be. I guess would you call it impressionistic?
Yeah, it's just super fun
for sure.
Yeah, going through all of the different historical figures. You get Charles Lindbergh in there,
not Vladimir Lenin.
You get what was it, Sigmund Freud?
Right. Is that who that was? Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Yeah, you get Freud. You get I thought it was Monet, but
Oh, it
He's
might
looking
be.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
got the impression, no pun intended, they were going for that whole style of
Yeah.
art and just
Yeah.
and making homages
Yeah,
to
it's
different,
just,
but different
Yeah.
artists.
Oh my
But
God,
you
just
might be
tell me
right.
who made it. Georges Seurat. He did like that's a very
Oh,
famous
yes,
painting
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
where he like did little dots.
Yeah,
So Seurat.
I thought Monet
were
did that
not
too.
even close. Maybe he did.
I think so.
That's the picture that I remember seeing. I
Mhm.
remember learning about them just using dots.
Yeah.
So
Either way,
I just didn't want us to get heat from art history majors
listening.
because their lives are
Come
probably
at us,
already hard
please.
enough. Yeah.
Or you know what? Educate us. We're not purporting to be experts on this. We're
No,
just,
yeah.
we're
I know.
trying to get this relatively
I just
right
don't want to.
here.
I just don't want to say anything without
Googling it
Just
first.
acknowledging it.
checking
That's
our
fine.
Andor is a
Confidently.
masterpiece. I was wrong. To get back to the vocal performances, there's no real weak link here for me. I thought all the vocal performances were strong, even goofy ass
Mhm.
Rasputin.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's
He's
really
supposed
fun.
to be, yeah.
Christopher Lloyd killed it. Super fun.
He
Mhm.
did.
I agree.
I have to say though, Rasputin, a memorable villain, but one of the most one-dimensional movie villains I've seen.
Yeah.
He's just like
I
an
mean,
undead
his
Terminator.
little green guys were the scarier than him.
Yeah.
Well, his motivations are, I want to kill. I'm
I want this family dead.
evil and want to kill a teenager. That's his whole story.
Yep.
And you're right. It would have been nice to figure out how the royal family did him any wrong, but we really don't.
No, I'm glad you mentioned the little green minions too. Also slightly vague in terms of what they can do
Yeah, like
and what
what they
can't they
are.
do.
Mhm.
They can flap their wings.
They can sabotage a train.
Yeah.
So are we left to believe they killed the conductors? Like, I don't know what. Like, now I think about more about it. Like,
I guess.
What
They can.
what did they
murder.
do? Yeah. And then they just like cranked it up to whatever and set it on its way.
Is there a geographical limit to the extent of their powers? Like, is it like Wi-Fi where if you get too far away, they won't work as well?
Right.
Like,
Are they?
Right.
Are they Pokemon?
which Pokemon would they be?
I think they would be like a ghost type.
Little haunters.
I'm trying to think. Like they don't have any ghost dragon types. I don't think because they're little bats.
Because you're right. It's they jump off the train and then they're like, oh, the train didn't work. I guess she survives the next round.
Successfully ran away from the battle.
Yeah.
Right.
You just
Yeah,
flee.
because there's just the 3 attempts, right? It's the train, on the boat, and then Rasputin actually goes in person at the ball right at the end. Was there any other attempt on her life?
No, I
That's
think
it.
that's
No,
it.
that's about it. Just couldn't get the job done.
Those Bolsheviks. Maybe the minions were the Bolsheviks.
Oh, maybe that's like we're not looking into it enough, is what you're saying.
Right.
Right. We got to remember that symbolism is a thing.
Layers.
Right.
Layered. Yeah, dude.
It wasn't Vladimir Lenin. It was John Lennon.
Oh, those kind of layers.
Yes.
Oh.
Through the power of song.
I don't like this road.
Eric.
I don't like this road. But the power of song, is it a good point for us to go to this next reason?
Yes, the soundtrack. It is
Okay.
not just good, it is excellent. It's the best thing about the film.
Totally agree. That's the thing that I'll come back to over and over. Just the songs.
Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty cooking.
Like
Sure.
like heavyweight champ, pound for pound, like put this up against some of Disney's best.
100%.
Mm.
Absolutely. This is every bit as good as what Disney was putting out during the Renaissance.
Which is very impressive. Very,
Yeah.
very
Did you
impressive.
know this came out at the same time as Hercules?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this music stands up to that 100%.
Oh, I think it's far better. I
Mhm.
mean, Hercules has
Mhm.
one good song in it. that-
One good song.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good song.
It is a great song.
I would honestly, I mean, I have to think about this a little bit, but this is like, I would put it just behind Aladdin, Lion King, and Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it's in with them for
I mean,
sure.
I would say with those are, especially like Beauty and the Beast, such a all-encompassing experience with the music. I don't know, like I actually feel like with this film and this music, it's hard for me to pick a song that isn't just an earworm but also at the same time has that level of depth that I can appreciate as wow, really elevates the film. I think I put this up there with those films.
I had forgotten
I would
how
probably
good the
listen to
songs
these
were.
over. And how much I must have listened to them that I still remember all
Yeah.
the words. Like,
It's the right level of catchy, but
mhm.
whoa, the emotional depth in some of these
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, especially Once Upon a December, because I hadn't seen this
December.
movie in a long time. I had forgotten how like moving that really is.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Don Bluth is just amazing at just pulling at your heartstrings. And you can think about it during his time with Disney, or just he is a storyteller at heart. He knows those moments and how to line it up with music in the right way that just really pulls at your heart. And like that scene is so iconic. That song so iconic. I can't watch that scene in this film and not just get the feel the tingles. It's amazing.
Very dramatic, never cheesy. Eric, what did you think of the score by itself? Not the songs, but the score from David Newman.
I liked it. I don't think I was like trying to think of the last score that really stuck with me. I wouldn't push it past a lot of other, just soundtracks. Obviously, the songs with lyrics and choreography and all that. Because I found it really interesting that is a credit was for choreography. So they must have actually choreographed stuff. I mean, I didn't really... It makes sense that they would do that, but that's kind of off topic. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. Sorry, I don't have more to say. Really.
All good.
Do you think that we could have improved the soundtrack with some Bryan Adams?
I mean, for real.
I mean, the answer is yes.
It would have gone in the hate column, probably, for me, but sure.
It would have been a very different vibe.
Yeah, just drop the "get off of my back" as like the rebellion is coming through the door.
Everything I do it for you could have worked in this film.
Oh my gosh,
Anton, it's true. You know it's true.
I'm gonna go listen to that song after this.
Oh God, wait till we cover Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Just do a supercut over Anastasia.
Yeah, it would work.
Who would be singing?
Everything
who would be singing?
Yeah.
But you have to. No, it's
look into my eyes.
Dimitri Sypik.
Vlad.
Vlad has to sing it in a Russian accent to the busty chick that he banged.
That's their love song. Oh yes,
that's their love song.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I can't even begin to do a Russian accent.
I need this in my life. I really do.
We could do it.
Hey, if I can learn to do it.
I had completely forgotten Aaliyah is on this soundtrack. There's a throwback to the 90s for you.
That is very 90s.
Is she the last song?
She does the version of Journey to the Past that you hear during the credits.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you had the Richard Marx and someone else singing At the Beginning, which again, another banger.
I like that one. Yeah, like the credit song. I love that song.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, again, during the time of movie soundtracks beyond just what was in the film. So good stuff. Very good stuff. But, oh man, I think this is also just another note around the music. And I would love your favorite songs. Do we have any favorites? Oh. What are our favorite songs in this film?
I don't know if I can pick one.
It's hard not to say Once Upon a December just because of how...
Yeah, I mean, that's like,
how nice I think
iconic.
that melody is.
Yeah. Yeah.
The earworm for me is definitely... I don't know why. It's the if I can learn to do it.
Yeah, you do like that one.
I've been walking around work being like,
no, Eric, that's a good pick, and that reminded me of like The Sound of Music. I think that's what they were going for there.
Yeah.
Really effective.
No, I always lean towards In the Dark of the Night.
That one honestly gets stuck in my head the most.
It's I mean, I love the quality and the emotional depth of Once Upon a December, but In the Dark of the Night, it also just really gets stuck in my head, and it's just so fun. It's just everything about it is so fun.
I could probably pregame to that song.
Yeah. Give me the Bugs.
The St. Petersburg song is so much fun.
The harmonization from the Bugs.
The St. Petersburg song is so much fun.
Yep, super fun.
When she's leaving the orphanage, that song, I don't know.
It's all
just fit so perfectly.
Just a great musical. It really is.
Do we think? Okay, I think we've been really hyping up. Do we think this is a pretty underrated film? at this point.
I think if you asked a lot of young people today, older movies that they've seen,
They probably wouldn't have seen it.
they would not have seen this. They would have probably seen The Lion King. Um,
Yeah, that's true. Like people our age will know it, but the younger generation that would have seen,
and would this be the thing that we show our kids? I know
yes.
it's a really important movie to you,
Right.
but was it a really important movie to
Was it one of the classics?
that stuck in people's brains?
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know enough about, the popularity of this film now, but
Well,
I would say
no,
it's underrated,
well said.
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think if I've learned anything, with this podcast, it's even a small film like Ants can have a fan base.
Mhm.
Right.
And so if Ants can have a fan base, there's
Yeah.
probably a lot of people that love Anastasia.
I was
Mhm.
going to say, I think this film has a pretty huge following amongst people our age. I've never heard anyone like really bash this film.
Mhm.
It's
But
I
I've
think
never
very
really-
well liked.
Yeah. Beyond you, not that I talk to films a lot with a lot of people, but I don't hear a lot about this movie or its legacy. I don't know
So
if that's
fair enough, underrated,
I would
probably.
say it's underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never got a sequel.
sure
I'm not
that's
counting
fine.
Bartok the Magnificent.
Because that's just a standalone movie that is a banger on its own.
Yeah, I think what probably underrated this a little bit, Anton, or underappreciated a little bit, is the fact that Fox's animation studio just collapsed a few years after this, and they didn't really build any momentum. Like Disney was around for so long before the Renaissance even started, and they were able to capitalize on the momentum that they built up with those films. And Anastasia didn't have anything like that to work off of.
No, there's.
Right.
I do have a theory that a lot of these non-Disney films just didn't stand as much of a chance to succeed for future generations because of lack of redistribution. Like
That makes sense.
Pat really, put it out there. Like Disney is a bit of a machine. They know, okay, well, we put it into VHS, we put it into DVD. Maybe some of these big ones we put back into theaters. These other studios didn't really have that. I mean, now they're streaming, but for the most part, it's streaming and distributing films that haven't had as much promotion over the years. So people don't know to turn on Anastasia because they hadn't heard of it before. Otherwise, it's just folks like us.
Point. Well, especially even like thinking about our kids, like they still have t-shirts. Like you can go to Kohl's and find stuff with the Lion King on it. Like our daughter knows who they are when those movies really haven't come out in how long, and they haven't made a sequel to that in a long time either. But there's merch and there's all that other stuff besides just the movies.
So I agree, underrated.
Yeah.
You agree with your own point there?
To be fair, I never said it. At the very beginning, I asked everyone else first, and then I was like, you know what?
I'm just giving you.
You are right.
Yeah.
Also, the historical.
No, it definitely is.
The historical precedence for this film isn't a rosy picture. It's like if your kid asks you, like, "Oh, what happened to the real Princess Anastasia? Shot in the head and bayoneted in a basement."
Yeah. It's like
dark.
Let's just put on something else. Let's put on this Up film. Oh no!
Right.
She has been watching. We've watched that multiple times this last week. And I'm like, does she? I don't even think she understands what's happening in these first 5 minutes. And I'm not waiting.
So distressing, the opening of that movie.
Yes.
It is.
Beautiful though. Love that movie. But
anything to add before we wrap this up?
We covered all
think
the points that
the animation's
we should
beautiful.
know.
It's a fun story. The music's great.
main characters don't have accents.
All the characters work together well. Like there's not a character that's like we didn't need that person.
Do you think? I mean, I like Bartok as a character.
I feel like we needed him though, because otherwise Rasputin's just talking to himself half the time.
Right.
He needed someone to communicate with.
I'm wondering too if because you talked about merch, if in their mind too, it's like we need some.
Well, it's also a Disney thing to do. We need a talking animal to
Puka's cool.
Yeah.
But
what are they going to make as the Macy's Day Parade? You're not going to. You got to do Bartok.
Do you think they really had ambitions of that? That's the other
Yeah,
thing.
I think they
I
did.
just said they were in the Macy's
Were
Day.
they? Oh,
What
okay.
was it Bartok that was in the parade or?
I would bet money on it that it was.
It's just a
Yeah.
giant Rasputin with his like head coming off.
Well, it could have
It's
been.
like going over all the children.
It could have been Bernadette
It could
Peters'
be.
character.
That in itself is haunting.
Yeah, it could have been.
What is that? Going down Fifth Avenue?
Yep, could have been. Just saying, could have been.
Just the shadow going over you. My God.
You're welcome.
Allison's dead.
It's a windy day.
We will create our own revolution.
Oh
gosh, that's big.
gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
so I think all the characters were necessary.
Yeah.
Even though, yeah, I know Bartok can be a little.
Thrash is the killer. I thought he was so funny.
He's super funny.
Do you have?
good.
Do you watch the spinoff movie?
I definitely have seen it. I can't remember the last time I saw it. Like it was probably a one time watch,
I know it
but
exists.
yeah, like I know about it. So
Bartok the Magnificent.
Is that on Disney Plus as well? I didn't even look.
I
I'm
haven't checked to
wondering.
see.
Is he
I know.
still? Is he still trying to? He's trying to kill Anastasia still.
No,
he
he's-
doesn't care
I know.
about- he never
no,
wanted to.
He's reformed.
Yeah, he's on his own thing.
You say he never wanted to.
Eh,
Most of the movie, he's trying to talk him out of it. Like, move on with your life. The lack of life you have.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's just sort of like, yeah, no, I guess he doesn't actively. I guess it's the little green things that actively
Mhm.
do
Yeah.
everything.
Besides their dark.
right. The Bolsheviks,
Yeah.
which, as we know, is from the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Communism. It's true. I'm out of notes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well.
I've said my piece.
Let's
Good movie, good music, good.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, what's your rating,
let's,
Eric?
let's ride this train into the rating section.
So, well, we usually
You
do
usually
wanna
go last, right?
Yeah, do
you always
wanna
goes
go-
last.
do
Sure,
you
I'll
wanna
go first. I mean, I'm gonna be boring and just say A+ because it's just there's nothing I would change. I love it. I'll watch it again and again, and yeah, that's where I stand.
Cool.
Right. Firm.
Yeah.
All right.
No notes.
There we go.
I'll go
Alright,
next
you go last.
since Eric won't.
He won't. He's got a streak to maintain.
Yeah, he does. What was the one we
I
made
did
you go
one
first
before.
for?
I forget.
I don't even know.
Maybe
Doesn't
it
matter.
Probably one
was it
I
Lord of the
didn't
Rings?
Yeah,
Was it Star Trek?
it might have been. Yeah, yeah.
Might have been. I don't
So
know.
I don't think this is Don Bluth's best film, but I think it's probably the best example of his work because it really showed with the proper backing, he was a worthy competitor to Disney. He had a lot of failures throughout his career, and I think he is a great filmmaker to study. And he's a great example of where box office can be very misleading because if you're looking at his filmography, you see a lot of failures and you're like, oh, what? This guy couldn't make hits. What was his deal? But this was the best chance he had to show what he could do, and he made the most of it, along with his partner, Gary Goldman, who I don't want to shortchange. As famous as Don Bluth is, I think his partner, Goldman, deserves a ton of credit as well. The highest compliment that you can pay this film is that it is often confused as being a Disney movie.
Yeah.
And now that it is on Disney
And
Plus,
even more now.
that confusion will only continue. Look, historically, this is utter nonsense. This has no basis in reality whatsoever. But as an animated work of fiction, I think it's great and it holds up. It has great animation and it is a wonderful musical. It really is. The songs and the score are right up there with the best of Disney's Renaissance work. It does everything just about as well as its Disney contemporaries were doing. Some of the wonky CGI inserts and the animation aside. I do wish we had gotten a little bit more out of the plot and the characters. I think they were very much one-dimensional. It's a one-dimensional villain. It's a one-dimensional story. And the temptation for having a little bit more authenticity to history will always be there for me just because of how interesting that historical event that it was being depicted is. But for knockoff Disney, this is the best kind of knockoff Disney. This is everything you want from knockoff Disney. I give this an A.
It should be no surprise that I have a very, very high opinion of this film. And we've looked at the elements that we can knock on a bit. And I feel like there is just such a high reverence that each of us have taken for this film, and it amazes me when this film is brought up in conversation with people. Again, this is a very subjective thing, but again, people always have very positive things to say. And I feel like this is a film that has so much heart to it. And Don Bluth really shines as a storyteller, as an animator, as a director through that heart. And it's amazing to see that from non-Disney in this era, because Disney really did set the standard. And I love it, or I love to see when other animators, other storytellers get a chance to tell their stories, because if it's all just Disney, that's no fun. And I even mean that for today. And this is a really great example of when we have something that isn't just what is the norm. When someone gets a chance to tell the story that they want to, they can really hit it out of the park. And in this case, what I believe to be an underrated classic. This has one of the best soundtracks to an animated film of all time. And I highly recommend this to any listener that may not have heard of it or hasn't thought of it in a while, because it really does hold up. This is an A for me.
Cool. So, yeah, I agree with everything that y'all said, and I like his animation style. I like when animators try different things, like the France scene and using some CGI to make things, look different. If you're analytical like us, you do have to do a little piecing of the story together for yourself, and we've sort of talked about that. The music's great. For my personal opinion, it's gonna go A-, just because it's not an A or A+ for me is something that I will rewatch constantly. I know for you it is. It's just not that kind of movie for me. Everybody should watch it. I feel I need to do a bit more research into other Don Bluth films so that I have a better idea of the breadth of his work, so that I can compare it against this film. Because right now I'm comparing it against Titan AE.
Land Before Time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I was also traumatized by Land Before Time, so that's a hard one. But yeah, so it's gonna be A-, still in the A category, which means everyone needs to see it. Everyone should see it and appreciate it. I get and wonder why they set it in Russia. You could have done this with a nameless kingdom and essentially had a similar story, if that makes any sense. I think that part of it was they wanted to capitalize on those rumors,
I think so,
that at the time were unconfirmed, that she was still alive.
Yeah.
I think there was a marketing reason to do that. Because if you removed all the historical stuff, I think you would still have a serviceable film. And it wouldn't change much of the songs.
No. The same Pierce song.
Yeah, but you just say it the name of the city.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a city where everything sucks. And then whatever France is, it's just a
nicer place.
Yeah. There's the bad place and the nice place, and you're trying to get to the nice place. So, but I did like it, and I liked revisiting it.
Pretty positive from Eric.
Yeah, very positive from Eric.
Yeah.
Listen, my only other A+ was like Annihilation, and Kai gave it like a D. He
didn't like it.
That movie, and I was like A+.
He did not like it.
I love that movie.
Pepsi Man movie. That's right.
Yep. Well, that's it for Anastasia. It's been wonderful having you both on. This was
thank you so much.
Yeah. Glad you had a good time. We had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your next selection? You have to think about that.
Oh, for me to be on?
Yeah.
I mean, what one do I always keep saying? Wreck-It Ralph. One of the Wreck-It Ralphs.
Have you guys thought about doing Wreck-It Ralph at all?
Those would be.
We could.
We I know you guys are skeptical. Have you seen it?
I'm not skeptical.
I like Wreck-It Ralph personally.
If we're gonna do one, I think the second one.
But I just feel like I don't hear a lot about them.
Which is sad.
No,
I
probably
know
not.
Skrillex shows up in the second one, but that's like that was the only time I had heard anything about anything.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
We'll talk.
I think you meant off the list of what they already have planned.
Oh, I don't know what's on the list.
It was an open-ended question.
I
There's no
love-
right
I
or
love
wrong
that.
answer here. Yeah.
I love that. Wreck-It Ralph,
Yeah.
guns blazing.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
That's what you want.
I listened to you guys on my way home, back and forth from work, and I love all the history. That's the thing, the money side of it and all that. So when I get home, I'm like, they have to talk about this because I need to know more of this movie.
We can do that. Well,
But thank you.
we'll have you back then, Eric. We'll pick something bad for you to appear on your next episode. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we did for Blade Trinity. And that's it.
That
for...
one was
Hey, you guys have done some
that one was
doozies.
kind of fun bad.
It was fun to talk about, but it was. Would you ever watch it
Yeah,
again?
that's no God.
Eric, would you ever want to cover like a video game film?
Because most of them are bad.
I have an idea.
Can you tell me your idea?
We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is it for this
Leave
week's
listeners wanting
edition
more.
of Why Wasn't It Better? We will see you next week as we get into our Christmas mini season. Thanks for listening and see you then.